Good evening and welcome to data analysis class. In our previous class, we looked at some of the parametric analysis, and tonight we'll be continuing in the class and be looking at t-tests. Okay, let's open our data set on SPSS. I've been using these data sets and I would love to continue with it. All right, for t-tests, we have different type of t-tests. We have one sample t-test. We have independent sample t-test. We have pair t-test. Okay, we have summary t-test. So I'll be showing us how to do that. And by now, from the first class we had, you should understand the condition for using t-test. We said that once your sample is 30 and above, use z-test. Once the sample is small, like what we have here, which is 20, then you can use t-tests. Okay. Now, the condition for your t-test is you must have, depending if you are running for one sample t-test, a continuous variable. Okay. Then if you are running for independent sample t-test, you must have one independent and one dependent. And the dependent is the group is two group. Must not be more than two group. Once it is more than two group, you can't use it. It means a nominal variable. Okay, that is that. So, and significantly, we use t-test to test for significant difference between when you have two samples. Okay, the significant mean differences. All right. So let's look at this data set. We have this gender, we have this class groups, then we have the score, which are continuous. All right. So to run a sample t-test, that is one sample t-test, will come to analyze. Okay, then you come to compare mean. Then you can see it. We have mean. You have that is where you run your anom. Then you have one sample t-test. You have your independent sample t-test. You have summary independent t-test, and then we have paired sample t-test. Okay, so for one sample t-test, you are dealing with just one sample. All right, so you click on it. Now we have this. Mind you, we say it must be continuous. So we choose this. We want to check the mean difference, the difference of chemistry students. Okay, so put this here. And then click on OK. Now we have our results. We have our one sample statistics. This is the n, the cases. This is the mean. This is standard deviation, the standard error, and this is the t-test table. We have the t-value, we have the significant and degree of freedom value. We have the significant value here, significant. So there's significant difference among the score of chemistry students. Okay, it's significant. The score is significant. This is it here. All right, so that is that for that. Before we end the class, I also love to share to also look at the same score. Want to now move to look at independent sample t-test. At this point, we have your independent variable and you have your dependent variable. So the condition for this is that your dependent variable must be continuous, okay? And your independent variable must be group. And we said no more than two groups, okay? Now we have this. Let's pick chemistry again since we ran for chemistry. And if you look at this, this is ordinary, it's more than two. Then this gender is so. Want to look at the significant difference, mean difference between the performance of students, that is male using male and female. So put that here. Okay, so you go to define group and look at it one and two, and then continue. Then you can click on OK. All right, so we have a independent sample data. So you must understand for independent sample, you are comparing two sample, your control, that is for those in science. For those in social sciences, we call it independent, okay? And the dependent variable, okay, which must be continuous in nature, okay? So we have these as well, and then we have this. This is a table that the test of equality of variance. We have the I value, we have the significant value, we have the t value, we have the degree of freedom, significant. They look at the mean difference. We have the standard error difference. We have that. Okay, so you can see. All right, so that is how to run for our independent sample t test. Okay, comparing the dependent variable and your independent variable. Okay, then let's quickly move forward and also look at the other type of t-test. Okay, now I said we also have paired t-test. Now the condition for paired t-test is that they must have equal numbers of rows. Okay, the sample must have equal numbers of rows. Now I want to pick the performance of in chemistry of the student in chemistry and physics and see if there is significant difference. Okay, now both are continuous. Now is that okay? So to do that, we'll go to analyze, and then we come to compare mean, and then we look at pair sample t-test. Now for pair sample t-test, you can see how to return this. Okay, so we already have that. So otherwise, we would have picked on this and return this, but let's pick this. Okay, all right. So it's better this way. Let's go. All right, so I need to show. So we are pairing this chemistry. Second variable we're pairing alongside is physics. Notice they are continuous variable. So if I wish to pair another one that is the second one here, I can do that, but I want to just pair these two. Okay, that is, I want to compare the performance in physics and chemistry together. All right, and then we have standard deviation of the difference. Okay, click on OK. Now we have this mean sample, the pair sample correlations, and then look at the result when it was paired. Look at this and look at the mean, look at the standard deviation, the standard error, and then significant value. Okay, if you are using a null hypothesis, this is not significant. Okay, it is not significant. Now I'll quickly show us how to do summary. So to do summary, it's important to know that summary t-test. To do that, we'll be using this summary table. Let's assume I want to use this same value as to compare the two. It's also for two value. Let's show you that before we continue. We'll come back to our result. Okay, and this is it here. Compare me this summary independent sample t-test. Okay, for this you need the mean of the independent sample t-test, that is independent value, and the dependent, you need it. You need the mean, you need the standard deviation. You also need the cases, that is the numbers of row. Is that okay? So when you click on it, look at it here. So I'll quickly remove this. You may not see this in your, so I'll have to put in our own. So yeah, we have 20 as the sum as the cases, that is 20 here. So let's quickly fill it in. We have 20. We have 20 here. Okay, now we'll be making reference to this are independent and this is dependent. Okay, so go and get the analysis we ran for independent sample t-test where we picked a categorical variable and a continuous variable alongside, that is the gender and chemistry. So get their mean and standard deviation and replace them here. Okay, so let's scroll up. Okay, we have it here. So this is their mean and this is their standard deviation. Okay, so let's see, can we pick? We can pick. So we just we have 59.67. I'll do that. The other one is 55 points. Sorry, this is this is gender. No, we can't use this then. We can't use that because the mean answer is for the gender. Okay, it's for the gender. Okay, okay. All right. Basically, we ought to have run for a separate. So let's just use this then. I'll use this since this one is a little bit better. I'll use this 58 and 60. Okay, let's go back. Yeah, that is for chemistry. 58. That is a 58, and this is 60.25. Standard deviation, this we have 18, 66, that's 0.66, and the second one we have 22.32. So we have filled in this. We want to use a summary table now. So for you to do, just need the mean standard deviation of the respective samples. Okay, then once we are done, you click on OK. Okay, so let's check our results. Let's check our results. Okay, look at the summary t-test. Okay, this was what we entered. Okay, so we have this. We have this. Okay, 0.731. Now, if you compare it to, look at it, 0.13. So it's not significant too. All right, so basically we have considered tonight t-tests. Okay, we have looked at the one sample t-test. We have also looked at the independent sample t-test. We have looked at summary t-test, and we also looked at paired t-test. Okay, so that's what we're stopping tonight. If you have not subscribed, please do it to subscribe and ensure you generate your data set, play with your data, your research data, and then you go ahead and analyze. Thank you for listening.